And we are underway. No sword on Uncle, though.
Nope, no sword on Uncle. I'll do what I can with my mic, guys. I'm working on it. Thank you for sticking with me.
Just 10 arrows to start in Link's house. All right, map check from PKR. We got a regular crystal at Eastern, 5/6 crystal at Desert, and non-green crystal at non-green dependent at Hera.
Yeah, we know PKR likes to do an early map check, so she'll look like she's a little bit behind, but she's got that extra knowledge going into everything. And we have a bow early.
Might we see an early dip into Eastern sans Lantern?
That seems to be the play. If you can do early Eastern and you have the bow and it's a crystal, you go ahead and do early Eastern. It's almost not even a question at this point in time. It is a bit of a sequence break without the lamp, but with both of these runners of this caliber, they'll be able to do the dark rooms, no sweat.
Yeah, at this point, with the caliber of runner we are dealing with in the top 16, dark rooms should not be a problem whatsoever. Having the bow will certainly help in terms of trying to farm the bomb necessary for the back of escape, because, you know, you're just mowing down these guards with just one arrow to just get through no problem.
Yeah, it's a little bit less efficient. A lot of people like to see the fire rod early because they can multi-shot the ropes and everything. Oh, we have an early flippers as well. That makes for some early routing interesting options here. That opens up when you do the south loop. You can kind of jump right in and do hobo and go up to Zora if you end up having the money.
Yeah, also means we won't be seeing a fake flipper since we have the real deal.
It is interesting. It does make it a little bit more difficult to go ahead and set up a Houlihan room if they so desire. You have to bomb drop your way in. Great need the mitts to be able to. No free Houlihan if that was on their minds.
No, you need at least a power glove to be able to bomb your way to do Houlihan. With them having the flippers, that certainly is going to put a damper if you want to try to do it. All right, single green rupee from Zelda, and so far, no guards are dropping bombs.
So far, no, but we still have a long way to go. And as we said, those ropes and rats are definitely clustered. So that might be a more efficient way to farm them at this point.
Yeah, at this point, for the uninitiated, the drop tables for the different types of enemies are the same across both runners. So the fact that both of them have been mowing down guards and not finding any bombs so far would be a good sign that, you know, you didn't accidentally miss it if the other runner got it. Now the question is going to be if the ropes or the rats have them as well.
At this point, it looks like they are done with guards. They're going to keep on going into the sewers and hope for better fortune, you know, in the muck, in the mire, in the horribleness. Does anyone ever really think about, you know, Link taking Zelda through a sewer to escape, and her dress still stays so white?
Video game logic. Ropes aren't dropping bombs either so far. bats will not drop any items. We got 300 bucks, so all that talk about maybe needing to do hula ham, well, there's 3/5 of the money necessary for Zora. And I would say at this point, Zelda is not gonna worry about bombs anymore, just gonna get the key rat and head on out, and it looks like that's what PKR is doing as well.
Might have a few last-minute desperation shots just because. Oh! And Zell and PinkKittyRose get a last-second bomb. That's pretty nice.
Very nice indeed. All right, we are going to see these 3 items. Heart container, map, and 20 bucks.
Alright, so we will, because we found the map, we are going to have at least one more item here in this sanctuary chest. I'm hoping for a little bit more than a couple bottles and a bow. I mean, flippers are nice too, but you want a little bit more progression right at the moment, and just a piece of heart.
Yep, so that's going to do it for the escape sequence, and from here, the world is the runner's oyster.
And we see PKR going ahead and doing a save and quit to go back to Link's house. Looks like she is going to be coming up from the south. And when you have to go ahead and farm bombs, this is probably a little bit safer because there are bushes down here that have a 50-50 drop rate if you pick them up for bombs. And it looks like that's what she's going to be doing here. Yep, and she gets 2. Nice.
Which is very interesting, because that is honestly something I haven't seen, but lucky enough, bush crabs dropping bombs as well.
Yeah, that is an amazing lucky drop there from Zell. He's absolutely happy to see that. Played the gamble and risked it. PKR is going to go ahead and check to see what's in this maze as well. Oh, I just missed what Zell saw on Lumberjack Ledge.
It was just a big 20.
Okay, well.
So no harm, no foul. And 50 bucks is the race game, which you might as well pick up if you took the time to do it.
And Zell says, yes, I will go ahead and take some more bombs. Fill me up. And flute! Ooh.
Toot, toot! There's the flute!
So we have early bottles and early flute to go ahead and get through the entirety of Kakariko Village. We're not going to have to come back here for quite a while. And a hook shot.
All right.
Oh, what is this?
I think it's Death Mountain calling.
Yeah, this is we thought we were going to get an early play and a tree pull of bombs. So PinkKittyRose is sitting back, is getting ready to farm up bombs, and this is going to take a minute or two.
This is...
Or no, she...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was like, no, she's actually going to spend them before buying them. So PKR is going to be a little bit rough in the hole, and we have a mushroom fetch quest as well. This has gone from a really slow seed to a very fast one, very quickly.
And having that flute, you'll be able to check that mushroom really fast. All right, nothing really to write home about in Blind's hut, except for this last chest here in the back. And just as useless. All right, both runners are going to be heading into the well. We got silver arrows, so...
I mean, why not?
Archer class, anybody?
I mean, silvers is absolutely something you want to see. I mean, the bosses that take damage to arrows are now just going to melt.
All right, PKR is gonna head into Blind's Hut, and then I imagine head up to Lost Woods, get the flute and the hook shot. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, to honor Hyrule, we ask that you join us for the playing of the National Swag Deck Anthem. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the Hawk's about to rock, and we salute you.
The Hawk's about to rock. You know what? I have not heard that one before, and I thought I had heard just about every rendition of that one as possible.
I heard that one a while ago. Ooh, almost got a chicken clip from Zelda.
Got to be careful sometimes with the swag strats. They can lock you a little bit later. PinkKittyRose is getting ready to find the flute, and we'll have to kind of route back down into Kakariko Village if she wants to turn that in immediately. It seems to be what she would want to do at this point in time. She's going to get the hook shot and the flute back to back. Like, oh, maybe going the north route was better.
I mean, realistically, at this point, this early in the race, I really don't think that would be, that routing decision. One, it's just a lucky bounce, and two, I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference, because Zelda still has to do library and race game. PKR just basically has to go back and activate the flute. They're still going to be pretty even, actually, now that I'm watching it.
Absolutely. And, I saw some comments in chat that were saying they'd never seen that south route before. It's really not all that different, especially if you plan on having to buy bombs anyway. Zell says, I don't need your money. And flutes away. We were going to get a dam check here directly.
And PKR is going to activate that flute. Just a big 20 inside the dam.
Nice hookshot glitch there from Zell, not having to reset the dam area. And just a piece of heart. So that is all from Zell. Meanwhile, PKR is going to go, diving into Ice Rod Cave first thing. This is interesting.
And with that hook shot, these mini troll dorms go down like cakework. Still never understand how you can hook a bomb and it not blow up in your face.
Did you just say cake work?
I don't know.
I just want to know what that's like. Like, my mind is now running wild of what cake work would actually be.
I meant to say cakewalk, and I'm watching too many things at once.
Cakewalk and clockwork mixed. I see what happened, and now my mind is intrigued. All right, Zell looks he is going up Death Mountain and does not have a sword, so this dark room can be a little bit daunting. If you don't have anything to guide you, you have to go from pure muscle memory, no visual guidance. He's trying to use the hookshot periodically to see exactly where he's at. PKR loading up on bombs before doing the mini Moldorm cave herself.
Zelda is able to get the old man out of the cave and gets a 5-arrow upgrade for his troubles.
So Zell kind of doing the high percent play at this point in time. He's going right up Death Mountain. He's going to check to see what's in Spectacle Rock and the Spectacle Rock Cave. And, ooh, Power Glove.
That is mirror-locked Power Glove.
Well, that could just be one of 2 lift upgrades. That might be showing us where our next lift upgrade actually is. So PKR is actually showing us the Zora locked areas. We're going to check over to Hobo. I imagine she might check exactly directly over, do a Zora check and also a Waterfall Fairy check as well. Zell taking the high percent play just because of all the treasure options that are over here on East Death Mountain. PKR going with, hey, I got the flippers first. Let's see what it leads to.
Hobo having 10 arrows. Oh, swing and a miss from Zelda on that bomb. All right, PKR is going to turn in that mushroom, but I mean, we haven't really seen. There wasn't a save. I mean, granted, we haven't found much to make you think that. Although, I don't think she saved it all yet.
No. But it's a mirror!
Okay!
Oh, wow. That's huge, because that means PinkKittyRose is actually going to save time by not going up and doing Death Mountain right away. The gamble, the worth. It's, oh my gosh, just a single green rupee. Gonna check Agina's cave before going up there. Looks like PKR is doing a lot of the low percent plays. Now, she does have a 1-0 lead. She might be doing the low percent plays thinking that's what Zell's gonna do. Remember, it's not necessarily what you do, it's what your opponent doesn't do. If she thinks that Zell is going to have to make some low percent plays to win, she's doing the low percent plays at the same time, but Zell's not playing that game.
Nope. But that low percent play on the mushroom certainly paid off to get that mirror.
And we didn't really find anything in Paradox Cave up to this point in time. We'll see what Spiral Cave has for Zell. Otherwise, this has been, it was a high percent gamble for not a lot of payout.
Oh, there's the moon.
Except commentator's blessing.
Well, that was the thing I was about to say. I mean, I was about to say before that we haven't really found anything in terms of Dark World access, but now that's 2 of the 3. So we're just a hammer away from getting Dark World access, and now Zelda's about to get that mirror.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting. We'll have at least the Power Glove and the Moon Pearl. Let's see. We still haven't even been over to the Eastern Palace area, which with that bow still is very tempting. Nor have we been over to Zora, which is also looking pretty tempting with your rupee counts and also having the entirety of Waterfall Fairy available to you. So lots of options for these runners very early.
Yeah, we're going to see Zelda head over to the eastern area. But yeah, we've got Waterfall of Wishing, we've got the Zora area. And at that point, you basically have either Eastern Palace, which logically can't be full cleared, but the runners certainly probably could, and then a Pendant Hera that you can't complete without either a hammer or a sword. Well,
there's another upgrade, and a shovel, and a sword.
Whoa, Sahasrara, you holding out on us. All right, so that's Dark World access through Titan's Mitts and Moon Pearl.
Yeah, and Zell knows that. He's going back for that Titan's Mitts immediately. He says, nah, I don't need to do Eastern yet. I'll wait for the Eastern pod combo since he knows he has the mirror. I did promise someone in chat something, though. I promised if a fetch quest led to something, that I would do something for them. And a fetch quest did lead to something.
The floor is yours, my friend.
Do you want to do a fetch quest? Or maybe do a T-Rock dive? You know it could be anywhere. Pull out your hair. It's going to be fine. It could be in vanilla, but probably not. I wish you would just decide. Do you want to do a fetch quest? To be a quest? Okay, bye.
Very nicely done. Zelda picking up the Titan's mitts, and now predictably gonna head to Dark Death Mountain while you're up here.
Oh, that would be the logical play at this point in time. And yeah, it looks like Zell's heading right that way. I mean, you have Super Bunny Cave and you have Hookshot Cave that you can get, right at the 20-minute mark. What? And I see some people saying, hey, skipping Tower of Hera, yeah, it's a pendant with only 2 items, and you have the entire world opened up to you. I do not blame him for skipping Tower of Hera 1 iota.
Money and health in Super Bunny Cave. PKR going to show us what's in the Waterfall of Wishing. There's the lamp. So now Eastern is in logic.
Yeah, worth noting, and Merc is pointing it out to us. I meant to say something. Well, there's our map check, but PinkKittyRose did skip the Spectacle Rock check, which is a glove upgrade. It could be a while before she ends up going back there.
Meanwhile, we saw green pendant Turtle Rock, blue pendant Skullwoods, 5/6 crystal pod.
Wait.
Hold on.
So we have.
It's time for the Zora Domain Slam Poetry Corner. There once was a fish named Zora who gives you flippers and vanilla, and Rando he sucks for 500 bucks. We did the stupid truck for 20 bucks.
That's nice.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to step on you there. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's absolutely fine. So I just want to make sure I understand. Both Skullwoods and Turtle Rock are pendants, which means Fire Rod, because those are the only 2 dungeons that require, absolutely hard stop, require Fire Rod. We may not have a required Fire Rod in this entire dungeon, or entire scene.
Ganon's Tower would like to talk to you after the race.
I'm just saying, it's theoretically possible to do that. So PKR going over to Eastern gets first glove upgrade and a sword, so probably pretty happy to see that. And Eastern is entirely in logic. Zell is in Skullwoods, gonna hunt for some treasures in here.
There's a small key to start.
And PKR is going to go ahead and go into Eastern Palace entirety. Zell does end up finding the Magic Cape, which is one of the 2 items. I can see him. Yeah, it looks like he's going ahead and dipping out, saying 50%, I'm good.
Yeah, especially with getting the cape where you got it and having mirror. I mean, you can do Graveyard Ledge here. You still can't do the flanktuary locations without the boots. Whoa, blue mail on Bumper Cave, and Zelda is gonna go ahead and pick that up.
I mean, it's relatively quick right there. That's a pretty decent one.
And we also found literacy in the first chest in Eastern Palace. So now that would mean the desert is full clearable.
That desert isn't logic for one of those 5/6 crystals. We do know that pod is the other 5/6, and the only thing that's out of logic for pod as of right now is the hammer. So as soon as we find the hammer... I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. Zelda did a dodge on the Myrtledactyl with the cape, and it was. I just was laughing when I saw that.
Murder-dactyls deserve to be dodged, and they deserve to be exterminated from this planet. I may have died to a murder-dactyl a time or 12.
I feel your pain. All right, we haven't seen the big key yet in Eastern, so that will be in its vanilla location.
Yeah.
Because sorry. To your, I'm sorry we're stepping on each other, but I was gonna go back to the point that I stepped on you about. Realistically, with Pod, we're just a hammer away from being able to full clear it.
Yeah, Hammer Pod. Hammer's the one thing that's really kind of locking a lot of stuff to us. It makes the overworld navigation in Dark World a little bit easier. It makes a few other items opened up here for Zelda for Pink at this point in time. But man, we had some crazy divergence way in the seat, haven't we?
Yeah. Zelda saw the one-up lift upgrade on Spectacle Rock. PinkKittyRose, for some reason, did not check what was on Spectacle Rock, so does not know that Titan's mitts are there. So that's, at this point, I mean, that's kind of where the divergence is. Now that Zelda could get into the Dark World, is doing so. PKR, not being able to, is still trying to find Titan's mitts, even though we know it's in Spectacle Rock. And honestly, with the book, I'd have to think PKR will head for Desert next.
Zelda is taking a dip here into Thieves Town, while PKR is going ahead and going up here into Eastern Palace. We already found all three items, so this is, I believe it's going to be the map here on Armos Nights, but it'll be a very fast Armos Nights.
And you're right, it is the map and the first crystal of the game, 27 minutes in.
All right, so PKR is going to flute away. Looks like heading over to Desert now, going to try to maximize on that book. Zell, interestingly enough, did end up finding the small key, which means there might be something locked away there behind the hammer here in Thieves Town. That would be absolutely tragic if it ends up being something of significant progression.
And into Desert we go.
Question in chat, what is PinkKittyRose's sprite? I have no idea. Seriously, I saw that question like 2 or 3 times, and I honestly neglected to say something because I honestly don't know.
Apparently, chat telling us it was Unica from Yi's origin.
Oh, and PKR showing us that it's just a heart container and then an otherwise boots-locked Desert Palace. So we're gonna wait until we get there, and PKR is going over here. Minor visual glitch there, but is going to show us exactly what this shovel will bring to us.
We know it won't be Titan's mitts because that's on Spectacle Rock, so it'll be interesting to see if this takes PKR away from Death Mountain any further, but strike the earth, just $20.
And pack up the mountain.
There we go.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. I don't know if that's actually how the song goes. I only had to sing the bass part when I was in like junior high, so.
It is. And PKR now for certain sees the Titan's Mitts is on Spectacle Rock.
Probably a little upset with herself that she didn't check this earlier. I would say she made a gamble earlier that it wasn't here, and unfortunately that gamble did not pay off, and she knows it. She's going to feel maybe a little bit behind from this point on in the race forward.
We can certainly ask her when we get to the interview portion at the end of the race. PKR getting a little... Now picking up those Titan's Mitts as Zelda heads into blind.
PKR is going to be able to show us what's on the Ether tablet. Zelda did not have just couch cash, so nothing there, but good intelligence at least. And it does look like PKR is going to dip her toe into Tower of Hera.
Very textbook fight from Zelda on blind. And just 20 bucks.
Merc is our wonderful tracker today, so big shout out to Merc. I'm hoping to ask Merc in chat if he can answer this. Did Zell find all 4 items, or is something locked in that big treasure chest?
Chat telling us that was all 4. And PKR does 1 check and nopes out of Tower Hera, and now doing Dark Death Mountain.
So PinkKittyRose has already done the entirety of Eastern. Zelgadissan has already done the entirety of Thieves Town and checked out a few other locations. PinkKittyRose has also done the Zora area. So really these two, depends on who finds value where. But so far, I mean, they've just checked different locations. We're getting closer and closer to knowing exactly what is needed for the rest of this race, but it's just a matter of time before we figure out where these items are going to be. I'm getting a little frustrated myself.
Just $5 for all that digging. All right, so we're gonna need one of the medallions from Meyer. We're gonna either need Bombos or Fire Rod to get into Ice Palace. And we're gonna need boots and hammer. That's it. Meyer medallion, Bombos or Fire Rod, hammer, and boots.
Kane as well.
Oh yeah, we do need Kane.
That treacherous Kane. Oh, sorry, I'm mixing up my randos. I'm sorry. So PinkKittyRose is actually going to be checking out the Meyer shed over here, which is clever because we haven't seen Zell over here yet up to this point in time, but it is in logic.
We also see that Bombos is what's needed for Meyer, so we're for certain going to see Bombos in this race. And there's Ether. All right, we're getting 2 mirror location checks, Graveyard Ledge and South Grove Cave. Ooh, there's Kate of Samoria.
Right next door to where you need it. Wow.
That actually, if I'm not mistaken, that would mean Meyer is full clearable at this point. I mean, it's 10 hearts green mail. I don't know if you feel comfortable with that, but that's your prerogative if you want.
Well, I mean, we do need the Bombos medallion as well. Gotta open the door there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So Zell doing the world tour here. Or he's doing the Gary's Lunchbox World Tour.
Did he lose the lunchbox?
Yeah, I think he did lose the lunchbox here.
All right, we got Hype Cave here. There's the boots. And Red Mail, so very solid meh cave.
You know what? Boots require Desert Palace, and if they unlock anything else, because we do have Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb yet that unlock the boots, this could go from like a 6 to 10 hype cave very quickly to an 8 or 9 of 10 hype cave, depending on what the boots unlocks. All right, so Zell is working his way through. Looks like he's on his way over to Pod. Oh wait, he has to go the long way because he does not have the hammer.
Nope, but this is in logic because you have the flippers. I'm gonna check Hobo here.
So there's an interesting conversation in chat about the boots, about how much time it saves versus the perception and the reality. The reality is in an NMG sort of situation, boots versus bootless, 5-minute. If you are pro runners at everything that you're doing. That being said, there's a certain visceral feel to having the boots, and a lot of runners practice with the boots for a lot of stuff, and being able to do a lot of your tech and having the boots saves you time and not messing up later. So the real value of the boots comes not from being able to go fast, but not going slow, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
It kind of does.
I cannot believe everything what I said was distorted, and that was profound, people. That was profound. Anyway, so they're just walking over each other's steps right now.
Which is usually a good time to remind everyone, and that please do give both these runners a follow, both zelgadissan and PinkKittyRose. They are putting on quite the show for us tonight and deserve your follows here on Twitch. All right, so we can get into Pod. We can't full clear it without the hammer. We can... There's one item we still have to find in Skullwoods. There is that one chest we can check in Swamp Palace. And with the boots, you could finish Desert, so... I would say I probably would do Desert because it can be full cleared, but I seriously might be thinking about doing a Pod gamble.
I mean, Pod I don't think is much of a gamble at this point in time. You can maneuver around there pretty well. You have the bow, you're fine. I mean, you can eventually get just about anywhere except the boss without the hammer. So at this point, yeah, sounds like a fast food commercial, but I'm thinking Palace.
I'm loving it.
Have it your way.
Just as long as we realize that these restaurants are about burgers, you know, it's not. You don't want to start out of nowhere just saying you're a pancake place.
Domo arigato, everyone in chat.
All right, Zelda doing the dark portion of Eastern Palace. Only got half a heart left and has to go get a fairy. We know the lamp is in the Waterfall of Wishing Cave. That Igor does not want to move, but finally gets it and gets the small key.
Yeah, Zell struggled a little bit with that, but making up time and the difference there with the boots.
It'll be interesting from PKR's standpoint if the lunchbox holds something important, because Zelda accidentally left it in while he was traversing Light and Dark Worlds and lost the lunchbox and has not gone back for it. So this could be huge if the lunchbox has an item.
Are you saying it could be huge, like the hugest?
The political thoughts of both Jexrefi and Vitasia do not reflect Speed Gaming or the ALTTPR randomizer channels, and I'd like to still be beloved by chat.
Come on. Man, now my day job is blown.
Well, see, I also live in DC, and it's, again, the views expressed by this commentator do not reflect Speed Gaming or Randomizer, but I really just wish everyone would take a chill pill. That said, we'll now see if PinkKittyRose does not lose that lunchbox. And there's a bottle of Mountain Dew in Pod.
Oh, and big key. So that means the other 4 treasure chests are all going to be small keys, I think, here.
All right, moment of truth. Did this lunchbox have something important, and is Zelda about to be burned by it? Survey says... Nope!
Okay, so not obviously burned, but that's going to play in the back of his mind. Like, if there's something that is there... Like, if they end up searching for something at some point in time, just more couch cash, you gotta think that's gonna play with the back of Zell's mind. It's like, I messed that up, I have to go back and do it. And that's going to be not as efficient as what PKR just did.
All right, PKR is gonna head to Hype Cave, get those boots. And sorry, Vitasia, there's the fire rod.
I'm sad. Well, okay, I'm not sad. I'm happy they found the fire rod, but man, I was so looking forward to that.
That does open up Ice Palace, though. Although, again, can't be full cleared without the hammer.
Yeah, I don't know if Ice Palace is even worth going to without the hammer. You dip so far down for so few treasures.
Looks like PKR is heading for the pod area as well. We'll save a few seconds because she has the lamp from Waterfall of Wishing Cave. But Zelda is not having any problems navigating the dark maze.
Nope, not there. So it is not in Palace of Darkness. It'd be interesting if it was fire rod locked over there in Skull Wood somewhere. That would point us in the direction of a required double dip pod.
But we saw a high five as Zelda nopes out a pod as PKR heads in. And Zelda now going to do the mire checks that PKR did and may probably do desert, but now can full clear it with the boots.
That's right. There's still a second item that's going to be over here in the Desert Palace. We did find one. Be interesting to see what we end up finding. Out there is another one of the dark that Zell has already done, so he does have a Master Sword right now. Should point that out.
Yeah, imagine PKR will find that combing through pod. All right. It was the big key that was on the torch, which means small key will be in the big chest.
Still one item left to go in Desert. This will be interesting to see if something's here. If not, I mean, this is one of the 5/6 crystals, so Zell's at least not wasting his time while being here.
There's that heart container.
All right, so Zell's the only one showing us new stuff right now. Although I guess we'll figure out exactly what was going on down here for PinkKittyRose, because to be honest, we didn't get to see a whole lot.
And just a piece of heart in Desert Palace, so no progression here. Very nice hammer jump from PKR.
Chat already starting in with the troll suggestions. Hammer in the first chest in Swamp Palace. Technically in logic.
There was that Master Sword. We should also point out that because Turtle Rock is a pendant, hammer is not going to be on the pedestal. Actually, we're pretty much... Pedestal's pretty much dead at this point.
Yeah, the pet is dead.
Well, there is that slight chance that Bombos could be on there if Bombos is not needed for Turtle Rock.
So it's not all dead, it's just mostly dead. When you have an all dead pedestal, there's only one thing you can do. Go through its pockets for loose change.
Much like the pockets of a dead Lamellus that's holding a map and one of the 5/6 crystals. All right, we're going to see Pyramid Ledge and maybe a catfish chick.
I mean, that seems to be some new areas for us, and it'd be really surprising if it's there because this has been available to us for quite a while. Just arrow capacity upgrade on the pyramid, so up to catfish.
I mean, it's been available for a while, but man, is it quite the trek to get there without the hammer. Oh, actually, you could have gone the north route. And nope, we're not going to see catfish just yet.
We are going to get to see our first King's Tomb and probably Bonk Rocks as well.
All right. Zelda checking a Genis Cave, which we know doesn't have anything. All right, King's Tomb. $5.
That king spent all of his money on his elaborate headstones configuration and didn't leave anything in his tomb. Did we see that Samaria was in Checkerboard Cave? Yes, because PKR got it like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, details. All right. We're gonna get a fourth dimensional high five, and now PKR is heading over to Catfish.
And Zell's gonna give us our Bonk Rocks check. PKR avoided Bonk Rocks for now. 2 overworld locations that can troll some players. Just a big 3 hundo.
All right. What does the old catfish have for us today? Nothing.
And we are getting... Where can we go now?
First chest in Swamp Palace. Pendant Skullwoods. And a few chests in Ice Palace. And Hera.
I am disgusted with all of these options. Which means, chat, get your guesses in. Where are we going to find our next progression?
I mean, looking at what we got left, we got Bombos and we got Hammer. And all of the places that we can't access right now are all because of Hammer, so Zelda finding the lamp is like, yeah, I'm probably gonna use that a while ago.
PKR doing the Lumberjack ledge check is like, oh god, was I supposed to do Aga?
No, you weren't supposed to do Aga. PKR, meanwhile, is going to head back to Desert and finish that off. Man, we, shot out of a cannon at the start of this race, and it's just slowed to a crawl.
Well, that's been version 29, though. Whenever you have one item for Go Mode, if you happen to stumble across it, great. But realistically, you're going to spend a little bit of time going through and finding your last Go Mode item. And really, we're only 2 items from Go Mode right at the moment. We are only the Hammer and the Bombos Medallion. Now, if I were these runners, honestly, I think I'd rather find Bombos Medallion first.
Absolutely.
Simply because the hammer opens up so much of the world that it's possible for the Bombos medallion to be in. If you had your choice, you would much rather keep to this relatively narrow but widespread one-off location focus.
Well, and also you want to find the hammer first. Well, thing is, hammer can't be on the pedestal because of Turtle Rock. Bombos could be. Wait a minute. Did we ever get a Turtle Rock check?
No, we haven't, and I don't think they care. Or if we did, oh, it's Ether? Okay. Thank you, Merc.
So Bombos can be on pedestal. All right, Zelga's gonna have to do a coffee break to get through the rest of Hera. In fact, probably the last thing the runners want to see right now is the ice rod.
Oh. Well, I mean, they still can't get in there, so...
Yeah, but it would... I mean, Hammer allows Swamp Palace to be full clearable and Ice Palace to be full clearable, and that's it. So you would do those two before Turtle Rock, but I'm just saying, like, if you do find that ice rod, that after finding the hammer, that would not be pleasant to think about.
And so PKR gets another crystal, so catches up in that regard. Zell is going to get his big key. As soon as he finds that second item, he's out, though.
Personally, again, I suck at this game, but I would still finish off Trolldorm on the small chance that Bombos is on the pedestal. I wouldn't want to have to do the whole trek back up the mountain just to go finish Trolldorm. And PKR is going to head for Skullwood, so... But more divergence. Park container is the first item in Terra.
Okay, so that is the first item. And there's the second item. It's a fairy in a bottle.
And Zelda is going to nope out.
If you wanna... Never mind. I cannot make a song up on the fly right now. I'm going to do a fairy in the bottle song. I promise.
And Zelda is going to join PKR in Skullwoods.
Now, PKR, this is her first trek here into Skullwood. Zell has already been in here once, found the cape and left. PKR is now leaving. Oh no.
Gonna go get that mail upgrade.
Well, she hasn't even peeked yet, and PKR is not a coward, does not need red mail.
Yep, not even bothering with it. And there's the second item, 20 bucks in Skullwood, so noping out. All right. You have two choices, Vitasia. Hammerlock Swamp Palace or Hammerlocked Ice Palace. Where are we going? Before we do the pedestal check.
Both of them make me sick to my stomach.
Well, either way, we know that Bombos is the only thing that can be on pedestal. So is this a Bombos ped?
Nope.
Nope.
First thing I'm doing is checking Swamp because reasons.
Only one item.
Only one item, and it's relatively early. So if you know it's there, you're in and out relatively fast. And relative is the operative term there.
Oh, Zelda, are you going back for that chest? It looked like Zelda was heading for Swamp Palace and then was like, oh wait, I lost that lunchbox.
Wah, 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 wah.
And instead, PKR is heading for Ice Palace.
I mean, Ice Palace is the higher percent play. It's just, I don't know if it's necessarily the shorter time play. This is a tale of pick your poison, indeed. Hammerless Swamp, Hammerless Ice. Which would you rather, impale yourself on?
I would do Hammerless Swamp first because it's one check and you're out. There's the big key. All right, I'm doing a stop hammer time. I'm just putting it out there. Once we find this hammer, I'm doing it. Chat bringing up a good point. We have not seen powder, and with the mirror being where what you turned in for the mushroom, neither runner can fake powder at this point.
They powder. They absolutely powder. There's access that should come in from the dark world, and oh, you need the mirror for that.
Oh yeah, there was that. All right. Zelda is into Hammerless Swamp. PinkKittyRose is into Hammerless Ice. Something has got to be in one of these two places.
Something's got to give. Which gamble is going to pay off?
All right. Into Swamp we go. Only one chest we can check. If the hammer's not there, you're forced back out. There's a small key in Ice Palace you can get, and plus we have the hook shots, so you could get to the 3 chests on the right side. All right, moment of truth. What's in Swamp? Hammer time!
Wow! PKR finding the 4th bottle in Ice Palace. That's so huge for Zell. Stop. Hammer time.
All right.
And you know what? That's rando though. Like in these sorts of matchups where the item is buried in that sort of location, in low percent plays, things of that nature, rando's gonna rando. You just have to be as efficient and make the best gambles as you possibly can. Sometimes even the best runners are gonna lose a match here and there.
And that's why we do a best of 3 once we get to the bracket stage, because things like this, that's the way the rando bounces. RNG gonna RNG. All right, there's Tempered Sword and Swamp. PinkKittyRose had to nope out after finding Quake.
Zell feels good about that. He's like, yes. That being said, there is still hope. And where are you going, PKR?
Hera.
Oh, no. This is how little she wants to do Swamp Palace. We are still looking for that. No, we're not.
Nope, we are not. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 8 seconds. zelgadissan is officially in go mode.
Welp. And here I thought I was clever, giving PKR fans a chance, and Zell immediately pulls it. So while PinkKittyRose sits there sipping her coffee at her coffee break, Zell with Tempered Sword is filleting Argus. My goodness. So Zell is going to have Swamp Pod, Ice Palace, and Misery Mire all in go mode.
All right, Zelda has Argus down. Crystal number 4. Someone in chat asking if there's a game 3, when is it going to be? It is going to be Saturday, July 14th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Channel to be determined.
Keep in mind, this isn't going to be the only randomizer action that ends up happening. Later tonight at 9:30, we do have Kyong92 versus Salty Fry over on Speed Gaming 2. So, plug for that one. That's going to be a pretty hype race, I think.
Absolutely. All right, PKR knows this isn't a pedestal seed, so Nope's out once finding the second item. Zelda is into Ice Palace, knowing he is in go mode.
And PKR, with that Swamp Hammer, only has one way to get into the Dark World, and that's through this portal. Going to make for kind of a bit of a long run over there to Swamp Palace, unfortunately.
You gotta imagine PKR is gonna not be happy once she finds where that hammer's been hiding.
Well, and that's the risk of having a specific strategy. And I see a lot of people in chat saying, yeah, absolutely, when, you know, PinkKittyRose hates going to Swamp. And that's fine. You just risk seeding these seeds. Exactly. You know, there will be seeds where if you say, I will always go to Swamp Palace last, or it will always be my last check, there's a certain percentage of seeds that you're just saying, I am fine with losing these. And that's fine if that's your strategy at that point in time. But in a seed like this, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, though, you have to be careful because you also don't want to overthink things. Because if you get too reactionary, you know, this time the hammer just happened to be in Swamp Palace. Next time, it could very well be in Ice Palace. So you do have to be careful to not be overthinking things.
That's true.
A lot of times, my view is on it is just, if you have a strategy, stick to it, and just don't... PK are not happy with the hammer location. You know, if you have a strategy, just stick to it. And, you know, if you have a race where your strategy doesn't pay off, you know, shrug it off and move on to the next one. All right, Zelda gonna drain his magic meter, get cold stare in a corner. And a very clean cold stare fight.
Absolutely. Small key and his 5th crystal. So we still have Palace of Darkness and Misery Mire yet to go.
Realistically, I would say there's not much of a difference between doing pot or mire. You can flute to both of them and then flute away once you're done. And it looks like mire's gonna be first up on the chopping block for Zelda.
So we have an interesting comment from GamerCal here in chat. Do you think Zell would have checked Swamp first if he hadn't forgotten the purple chest?
Well, the thing was, I specifically saw Zelda flute to 4 like he was gonna go to Swamp Palace, and then realized, oh crap, I missed the purple chest, and then went back for it. So, you know, we can ask Zelda in chat, but based on the way he was running, certainly made me feel like he was already determined to go to Swamp Palace, and then realized, I missed the purple chest, let me go get it before I go to Swamp.
Either way, PKR is on her way, has the Tempered Sword, is now also in go mode. Zell is in Misery Mire right now. No big key yet.
Actually, did not do the Godmire check. Now gonna do it. And it was just a map. Either way, there's certainly a lot of things we need to ask both the runners about. PKR not seeing, you know, missing Spectacle Rock and not seeing that the glove was there. Zelda, you know, losing the lunchbox, and then, you know, PKR's decision to forego Swamp as long as she did.
Lots of questions to ask, and let's be honest here. It's not over yet.
No, it is not.
We have seen stranger things in this tournament of people coming from behind in certain situations, of people making bad choices in Ganon's tower, people falling to Ganon.
But PKR is going to head back into Ice Palace and finish that off. All right, big key in his vanilla location. All right, so at this point, Zell's just got to finish off Vitreous, then go to Pod for Helmassar, and then we'll be on his way to Ganon's tower.
All right, so Zell is going to set up. Oh, is he? Yeah, he set up the torch glitch, I think. Yeah,
Yep.
He did.
Very nicely done.
Mire Rod.
Very nicely done with the spooky action. And now gonna melt some eyeballs with some silver arrows.
I wouldn't call that new tech. I would definitely call it, I mean, it's about a month old. But yeah, I mean, compared to a game that's, you know, getting close to almost 30 years old.
And has every, pretty much still finding glitches all these years later. All right, pod left to go for Zelda.
Yeah, and both runners have already made a dip in there, so he's just going to go just right back to Helmasaur King and say, hey, bro, what's up?
PKR keeps Cold Stare in a corner, and very almost perfect clean fight from PKR. Chat's saying instead of calling it a spooky action, we should call it the Meyer Rod glitch.
Well, that's what I've been calling it, because I hadn't heard spooky action yet. I've been a little bit removed a little bit. I like Meyer Rod myself, because you have to use the fire rod, and it's the Meyer, and it's the rod.
Either way,
you know, the community will always disagree on what to call things.
I mean, we've been having these disagreements, you know, as long as the randomizer has been random. All right, PKR is going to follow. Ooh, very nice. Kick the Samaria block and then detonate it before it falls down. Very nicely done, Zelda. Ooh, Zelda only at 13 arrows. May want to make sure you get some while you're traversing up Ganon's tower.
Oh, he'll be fine. And second hit, and here come.
You're glitching again, Vitasia.
That's all right.
Want to try that again?
I was just saying he's approaching the Terrapins room.
Ah, but he's already out of the Terrapins room.
Exactly, so it doesn't matter anymore.
All right, well, Zelda is end of Helmasaur. All right, one silver arrow to the face, and down goes Helmasaur.
Oh, and that's 7 crystals. You do know what that means, Mr. Jax Reffy.
Yes, it does. It means that there are 22 locations where the Ganon's Tower Big Key can be in the basement of Ganon's Tower. If you want to play in the guessing game that we don't have the bot in the ALTTP Randomizer channel, you can still play along and guess the number between 1 and 22, but you won't get on the leaderboard. We have other parting gifts if you do happen to win.
So what are you going to hope? What number are you hoping for, sir?
I'm going to say... yeah, I'm just going to go number 1.
1. Okay.
Yeah, just going to go 1.
Well, I'm on chat side, and I'm going to go a high number, like 18. Oh, and Zell realizing, yeah, he hasn't even opened up Ganon's or Turtle Rock yet, so he's gonna go up this way so he doesn't have to go through the cutscene of hammering the pegs. Meanwhile, PKR is going to be entering Mire for her 7th and final crystal.
I mean, we're hyping earlier that not needing Fire Rod for Skullwoods or Turtle Rock, that this could be a Fire Rodless GT, but we got everything we need. We got Fire Rod boots and Cane of Samaria, so we're gonna find this big key.
Could we have gotten Bombos prior to? Yeah, we could. We had Bombos prior to doing Ice Palace if we wanted. This could have been a Fire Rodless seed if we so desired it.
Wasn't Fire Rod in Pod, I think?
Yeah.
Either way, guesses are closed. All right, chest number 1. Half magic number 2. Harp container, no key, gotta go left side. Number 3, small key.
Rip Bob.
We hardly knew ye.
For the uninitiated, there's a certain glitch that happens to the anti-fairies at the bottom of this dungeon. If you keep the item on that torch, it will glitch out the anti-fairies, make them look cool.
Number 4, 10 bomb upgrade. 5, heart container. 6. Small key 7. Fisher Price, my first shield.
Oh, and he's doing the Dark Magician-y strats here.
Very nice. Okay, I've only been in the randomizer community since the start of the year, so I do have to ask: is the name Bob from Dr. Bob-tastic, or is there another reason it's called Bob?
There's another reason it's called Bob, and I don't know why, but it was named Bob long before Dr. Bob-tastic.
Ah, I see. Just a coinky dink, I see.
I mean, Dr. Bob certainly appreciates the name, but it was Bob long before Dr. Bob.
$800, 9 red meringue, 10 ice rod, 11. There it is.
Wow, Dark Magician strats pay off. Number 11 is our winner.
All right, I see. All right, I can't scroll up, but I do see a Julicent that did guess number 11, but I can't tell if Julicent was first, so we're just gonna go with that. So Julicent, congratulations! You have won yourself a year's supply of randomizer seeds. You just have to go to ALTTPR.com and claim your prize. Offer only valid to version of the randomizer. Offer completely ignores the fact that anybody can go to ALTTPR.com and claim the prize. The randomizer is for everyone. However, please consult your doctor in case you see swords or canes randomly appearing in your house. Terms and conditions apply. Void where prohibited.
If your randomizer lasts more than 4 hours, please consult a doctor.
Either way, zelgadissan is into the gauntlet.
And PKR is just about to down Vitreous for the seventh and final crystal, while Zell is in the gauntlet.
I love what Falco Buster said in chat. If your randomizer lasts longer than 7 hours, please consult a spoiler log. I think I'm gonna add that.
I think that's fair. Zell upset with himself he didn't get the 1 cycle or the 0 cycle there.
All right, time for the most satisfying rooms in the gauntlet, where you just mow down Skull Wizrobes with the Cane of Samaria.
What isn't satisfying about that? I mean, really? Well, the soldier's being a little bit trolly there. Interrupted the dash and then was poked Zell off the edge.
Oh, Zelka's
Oh,
got
no.
it. There you go.
Whew, almost out of magic there. That was close for Zell. But has enough keys to go ahead and get through. Does not have to waste any more time. Did not end up with powder, so will not be able to powder some fairies.
Zelda never bought potions, did he?
No, but we have like a green pot at some point, so we're fine. And there's at least 1 fairy in a bottle.
Oh yeah, there was the fairy from Hera. All right, Zelda picking up Trildorm's last possession in GT, which was just a compass. Just a reminder, folks, do not be a thief. Don't steal things that don't belong to you.
I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever beaten Link's Awakening without being called thief the entire time.
That is true. All right, we're into the geometry wars. We got a double off of Zelda. Just a single there.
Oh, we seem to be out of sync a little bit.
There's 6. All right. Down goes Agatu, and it is time for the big pig.
Mr. Blue Bacon himself. We have Tempered Sword, we have Silver Arrows, he's even got Red Mail, and, you know, Fisher Price, My First Shield. What else could you possibly ask for?
About 4 blue pots. Butter sword. I mean, there's a couple things.
Don't stand so close to me. Back off, Link.
Very nice. All right. Zelda, I don't think literacy is going to help. I think the cape will. And Zelda is into phase 2.
And Zell's into phase 3.
PKR is doing full left, so it's going to be a while before PKR gets the big key.
It's true. It's going to be, I mean, that's getting close to 21, if I remember right.
Yeah, it would be. Because it was the last chest before the holes in that room appear. All right, gets a double there, so just 1 more to go. And just avoid the treacherous 3-block wide bridge, and Zelgadissan will have the win.
and Zelda in Crossbridge with an official speed racing TV time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 50 seconds. GG. And he's graded with a message of yeah. I don't know. Is that supposed to be code for something?
I know.
Man, if I was roboting that entire time, that would have been horrible.
For once, you weren't.
We'll see if we can't get Zell in here for a quick conversation, because we have some questions for him.
Looks like we are going to get Zelda in here for an interview. And we are joined by zelgadissan in chat. GG.
Hey, GG's. Thank you very much.
So, that lunchbox, though.
Yeah, that was awful, man. Like, I don't know if I've actually ever done that before. This time leaving that behind.
I think I have done that once. Now, I think I follow. Someone in chat was asking if you were going to Swamp before doing that second trip on the lunchbox. It looked like you were gonna do it and then realized you could route it back in on your way to Swamp.
Actually, what I did was I went down to that portal without the hammer like a dummy. So then I was like, oh, I gotta go the long way anyway, so I'll just grab the chest.
And like a dummy, I completely forgot that you couldn't go through that portal.
Yeah, late hammer seeds will just do that to you, man. It's just kind of how it is. You get so used to routing with it that whenever you don't have it for forever, it's awkward.
So tell me about the decision-making process that you went through there, because it came down at some point to either Swamp or Ice Palace. What made you go to Swamp?
So because of that hammer routing, I think all I had was Ice Palace, Swamp Palace, the purple chest, and then Pyramid and Catfish. So with that weird portal and you can't go any closer to Swamp, I was thinking if I'm gonna already be in the area with this chest, I might as well just go into Swamp, because trying to come back here afterwards was just gonna be a giant pain. And I kind of felt that Pink was probably gonna be going into Ice just because it had more items, and I was like, you know, all the cliches, you're down 0-1, you gotta make the plays, all that stuff, so.
Yeah, it was certainly very interesting because PKR was actually doing some of those plays. We'll find out if she was doing that to try to match what you were doing, but like doing Ice Rod before, getting the early flute, doing like Ice Rod Cave and Aegina's Cave before doing Mini Trolldorm.
Yeah, that's kind of, I wouldn't say it's uncommon when you get an early flute, but since I already had things like the hook shot, it just seemed like so much better to try and go up the mountain with it.
It was so interesting to see both of you where the location of the Titan's mitts were, considering that the Mushroom had the mirror, Spectacle Rock had one lift upgrade, and the other one was in Sahastrala's closet.
Yeah, I was gonna go into Eastern, but when I got that, when I got the first glove, I think it was a glove there, and the Mushroom, or wherever it was, I remember thinking, well, I should just go turn this in instead. Or maybe I'd already done that, I don't remember, but I remember whatever I got on the way to Eastern, I was like, okay, I need to just go around and get Titan's mitts, and I can loop around to Eastern eventually.
Yeah, honestly, from there, once you guys got to the Dark World, I mean, it pretty much came to a screeching halt until you guys found the hammer in Swamp.
Yeah, there was really nothing that I found whatsoever. Like, once I got to the Dark World, it was basically the Cave of Samaria and Checkerboard Cave. I guess the Fire Rod and Pod. I think that might have been it.
Other
Yeah,
than
I
like,
think you're right, yeah.
I mean, other than like sword upgrades that you were gonna need to find along the way.
Yeah, that one, I knew it was gonna bottleneck down to the hammer, and I knew that Pink couldn't be too far behind me, even if I was ahead. Because even though, I mean, I went to Swamp before some other places, I had basically done a full clear on almost everywhere else. So I wasn't sure I was ahead, but I at least felt like I could be.
Yeah, I mean, the way that the race, you guys basically bottlenecked into the two pain locations of Hammerless Swamp and Hammerless Ice, and it essentially just came down to you did Hammerless Swamp, PKR did Hammerless Ice, and that was the difference in the race.
Yeah, I can believe it. Whenever you don't have the hammer and you got to go to one of those weird places, it's just kind of a pure toss-up. And I mean, Pink made the better play by logic if you just go off chest count. I guess it was just kind of lucky for me.
I mean, as we always say, that's rando.
Yeah, that's true. It's just how it goes sometimes.
So you survived for your Game 3 match. It's scheduled for 6:30 Eastern PM on Saturday. Is that right?
That is correct, yes.
So get that, mark it down on your calendars, chat. It's going to be another pretty hype race. 6:30. That's prime time right on Saturday. I'm going to have to, if I'm not doing commentary work for that one, I'm signing up and I'm just going to sit and chat and watch how glorious this is going to be.
It was certainly fascinating to watch.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, do you guys know, in the bracket, who, if which one, when one of you advances, who you meet in the round of 8?
Yes, that would be the winner of TGH and Gem.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, that's going to be a ridiculous matchup. I'm really looking forward to watching that one.
All right, well, PKR is already into phase 2 of Ganon.
Three and a half hearts. Got to be a little bit careful. Did not pick up the red mail. You picked up the blue mail because it was on Bumper Cave, and then found the red mail in Hype Cave. And I'm like, well, I guess this is a thing.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason I got that blue mail is because it was kind of early, and I literally just got the cape from Skull Woods right next door. So I was like, okay, if you're gonna force me to do it, I'll do it.
I wouldn't say forced, but yeah, I was right there. It was worth it.
But either way, PKR does have Ganon down. Still has to be careful of that treacherous 3-block wide bridge.
That bridge has meant the end of many a runner, but she gets over with an official speed gaming time of, scrolling up here, 1:38.12. GG, PinkKittyRose.
GG's indeed. We'll see if we can get her in for an interview as well. And we are joined by PinkKittyRose. GG.
Oh, I got randoed.
Yep, you got randoed.
I got randoed pretty hard, and it didn't even start with the hammer either. It's like everywhere I went, it's like, oh, that's wrong. That's wrong too. That's even more wrong.
Like, forgetting to check Spectacle Rock for the Power Glove.
I intentionally did that. It's just like, I just wanted to go right-hand side first, and then I kept on getting things to go take me to other places in the light world, and oh, I was just sitting up there the whole time. Fantastic. And then, you know, walking right by Swamp, it's just like, should probably check that. Should probably check that. But
It was
the
it.
world went so bad. I should probably check that. It's probably just gonna be a compass.
Yeah, kind of. It was funny because it was at the time when we saw the Power Glove, you had gone to the witch and got the mirror from there. So it was like, oh, this could work out. What? Oh, she didn't check Spectacle Rock. So, But I mean, at the end of the day, it really just came down to that hammerless swamp, hammerless ice play. You guys were pretty much neck and neck going into that crucial decision.
I can't believe the fire rod was just a red herring, by the way. Like, that's the most upsetting thing about it, is that you go into Palace of Darkness, you get the fire rod, and it's for literally nothing. Not even for seed completion. It's just there to trick you into going into Hammerless Ice Palace.
Well,
That's so rude.
Logically speaking, you did need the fire rod for getting the GT big key.
Yeah, I guess it's true. Play entrance. I don't know what you mean by this fire rod needed for right side nonsense.
Well, I suck at this game, so that's why.
It's like, oh yeah, I guess it was technically required. I guess. Should have just kept going right. 21 out of 22 GT big key as well. Although I'd be surprised if you had gotten it any earlier than that, Zelda.
Zelda did do Dark Magician strats, so...
That's why it was nearly 10 minutes. Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Oh.
Yeah, I figured you were probably pretty close to me, if honestly. So I was thinking, well, okay, I went to the right side, I'll go to the left side, and I had a bunch of keys after the Stalfos room. I was like, well, she'd probably go right. Maybe I should just go right.
I didn't. I did my thing. I checked Stalfos room, and then I went to Hope room. It didn't have a key, so I didn't go right. And then I was sad. Further sad. There was more sadness. Lots of sadness. Oh well. This was just a scene that was set up to essentially punch me at every corner. But that's what happens in Rando. Sometimes you get sees that appeal to different routing styles, and you know, last time it was the Ice Rod and Ice Palace play that worked out. This time it was the Swamp Hammer and Swamp play. We'll see if the next one has some sort of game-changing decision as well.
That sounded ominous. Like, are you playing something?
Ominous, yes. I can't do that with a straight face, I'm sorry. Oh. Well, I mean, it was still a surprisingly quick scene despite all the running around and double dipping things.
Yeah. Well, you guys like shot out of a cannon, and then it just came to a screeching halt once you guys needed to find the hammer.
This could have been a sub 120 scene if either of us had just gone into Swamp first. All of your go mode was right there. The boots were in Hype Cave, the hammer was in Swamp, Bombos was in Swamp. That's all you needed. You could have been good to go. Swamp even had a second sword for you. Could have just been like patted on the bum, sent out the door, and you're good.
That is true now that you think about it.
It could have been so fast. But it's Hammer Swamp. Who does Hammer Swamp outside of like a nightly or like a weekly or something? Obviously not us.
All right. Well, both of you, you guys are going to be heading into Game 3 Saturday night. So I guess I'll start with Zelda and then PKR. How are you feeling heading into that Game 3?
I mean, obviously, both of these seeds, we've just had a couple decisions here and there that have just kind of led to someone winning. So I'm expecting more of the same. And I don't know, maybe we can set up race 3 to be a Triforce Hut.
Oh, like the false start was beautiful. Like, what even? We're still confused. What?
We're looking into it. I think Beazle and those folks are looking into it to see exactly what happened there.
The nothing at Zelda's cell as well. I haven't seen that since running a certain Plando months ago.
Yeah. All right. So PKR, same question to you. How you feeling going into race 3?
This just seems par for the course. This will be about the, let's see, how many times has it been? 6th time I've been on the chopping block for this tournament? Oh, it was like a blessed relief to actually 2-0 somebody last round, but I wasn't expecting it was Zelda, so here we go again. The 3rd time to go into Game 3.
Well, major props for you just getting to the round of 16.
Oh, man, stress is going to be going on at work. But hey, if I lose Game 3, at least people won't have to worry about delaying next week, because I'm actually going to be gone all week. So it'd be good for tournament scheduling if I lose.
I mean, I'm going to be gone the majority of the week too, so I mean, they're just screwed.
Ah, yeah. Sorry, TGH and Jeb in advance. We're a bunch of people that have too much stuff to do because life.
Life happens. So, either way, zelgadissan and PinkKittyRose. Zelga, have I been pronouncing your name right?
I don't even remember how to pronounce it anymore. For I've heard so many. So yeah, that's right.
Zelgadissan.
All right, zelgadissan and PinkKittyRose, major props to both of you. Thank you for the entertainment. Please be sure, everyone, to give both of them a follow on Twitch. They were highly entertaining for us to watch tonight. Special shout outs to Merc249 and Synac. Merc our tracker, Synac our restreamer. And Vitasia, I will always enjoy doing zany commentary with you.
Man, it's always so much fun to be with you, Jax. All the love to you and Merc and our runners and chat. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Keep in mind, we do have one more race tonight over on Speed Gaming 2. Going to be starting here in about an hour, looks like. Kyong92 versus Salty for Game 2. So tune in for that one.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all again for watching. Be sure to stay tuned to all the Speed Gaming and ALTTP Randomizer channels for the remainder of this tournament. It has been a blast, and we'll see you next mission.
Have a